And welcome to the Technology Geek podcast. I am your host, Brandon Lepani, the Technology Geek. And we have a wonderful show for you today, as we do every week here on our wonderful show we do, the Technology Geek. By the way, you can find all of our information at thetechnologygeek.org. We've had that up for a while, as well as you can follow me and send me questions on my Twitter at LePaniTech. And one of the things we've been really working on the site this past week is we're trying to get our submit page and stuff like that. We get so many people that want to submit articles, and believe me, we love it all. We submit as many posts as we can possibly read and get to, and so please keep them coming. We do appreciate it, and we will get to you if if we're a little behind. Just forgive me. I got to do the show, and then I got to do my own posts, and then plus I got to read guest posts, so it's tough when you're trying to be a podcast host, an editor, and run a website and all that all at one time. So I do my best to get to you, especially as well since we have I'm doing a lot of remote work lately. As the Technology Geek, we offer remote support, obviously. To all of our wonderful listeners that have tech problems, they want the tech guy to help them, so we do remote sessions and stuff like that. Recently we've been using Google+. They've been really great with the whole screen sharing piece, a lot of other things. So if you have any tech problems, like I said, you can get help from our site, at thetechnologygeek.org. We can help you with all your technology problems remotely, and we more than graciously be happy to do that. Some other things we're working on as well is, working on courseware. We want to start selling courseware. We've been working on that. And also, too, don't forget about our eBay store. You can get to that from our website. If you just click on the store link, we have a wonderful eBay store with all different switches and all computer parts, gadgets, radio equipment, all that stuff is all up there. So you can check out our store as well. That's why I said when you're trying to do posts, do a show, and trying to also run kind of a business here as well as trying to do posts and all that type of stuff. It's very time consuming. A lot of people don't realize how much work a successful.com actually is, even though we are just one website. It is quite a lot to do at times. So, but I do enjoy it, and I do love being able to do tech journalism and podcasting and all type of stuff. And we do appreciate all of our wonderful fans and listeners that do support this show and make it so that we can keep the content and all that free. So we do appreciate that. And speaking of some wonderful sponsors, let's not forget about our wonderful sponsor at Audible. You can get a free 30-day trial of Audible at audibletrial.com/techgeek. And I love Audible. I like reading books. When I'm at the gym, on the go, in my car, just there's so many places. Just great to just you can't drive and read, or you can't exercise and read at the same time. But you could. I just want to be safe. But with Audible, you can listen to the book. It gets read by tunes. Really, really wonderful. And they're a wonderful sponsor. We're very grateful to have them. And that's audibletrial.com/techgeek for the free 30-day trial. You get one free download with that. And feel free to, go to that site. They're Amazon powered. Really just a wonderful service. So we're very grateful to have them. They're a pretty major sponsor, and we're very grateful. As well as we also have another sponsor as well, Dollar Shave Club, dollarshaveclub.com. They have a wonderful, the Gillette quality blades. You just, for $6 a month, you get Gillette quality blades delivered free to your door. They're just a wonderful service, and we're very grateful to have them. You can get to their link right on our homepage. It's Join Dollar Shave Club today, and click on there. You get a free trial offer, and it's really wonderful service, and we're very grateful to have them. So, again, that's Dollar Shave Club, and you can get to them right on our website. A lot going on here as far as the tech industry goes. I know on the 22nd and the 23rd, I'll be over at the Security World Expo over in Philly. So I'll hopefully bring back some wonderful tech news and gadgets and all that stuff that, really is it's a wonderful expo. I'm going to a couple segments on, SQL injection. I'm going to a couple other segments on different open source products that are coming out, and just some wonderful stuff coming out of the Security World Expo this year, and I'll be going to that in Philly. And it's a really, really great thing. It's my first year going to it, but I know I've read a lot of good reviews and all that. And I try to go to a couple conferences a year and come back here to the site and report on it. And hopefully I'll have the time to do that. I'll be there. Obviously, I'll be working when I'm there, but hopefully when I get back, I'll have time to report on that. And I will report on that definitely on the podcast, and I'll try to write some articles and stuff for everybody. But a lot of stuff coming out of the Security Expo. Really just a wonderful, wonderful conference, and it's just I'm so excited to be going. It actually wasn't relatively reasonable. I don't have to pay for a hotel because I have a family that lives up that way, but I think it was like $280 for 2 days. And by the way, too, if any of you that do want to go, like I said, it's going to be in Philly. Any of our listeners that want to go, or it's going to be all over the world. By the way, I'll put the link up in the show notes. But it's going to be all over the country. But I believe if you just want to go in and see all the new products, it's like $25. So if you're in the local area and you just want to go to the Security World Expo, even if you can't afford to go to the conference or don't want to go to the 2-day conference, I mean, you can chill out, $25 and just go visit all the different all the different vendors and just see what's coming out. I mean, it's really great. I mean, especially if you live close or, you don't mind traveling a little bit just to go see one day, see all the different vendors, see all the new products coming out. It can't hurt. I'll be going there because I really want to get a little more in touch with some of the new training and some of the new products and some of the new stuff that's coming out since I do kind of do some security work and stuff like that. So, we want to make sure we're definitely there and see what new products are coming out. So we're really, really grateful to be going. So, and it's just I think it's going to be just a wonderful conference. And I'll report back to everybody. So, like I said, as far as tech goes, a lot of stuff in the news, security news this week. By the way, folks, I just want to say one thing. I made a mistake on last week's podcast to the 11th, which is Saturday. There's going to be it's the test for the U.S. Air Force Day as far as amateur radio goes. The following week, which is the 18th, will be the actual date of the actual Armed Forces Day. So I do apologize. It was a little mistake, but I wanted to clear that up this week. Also, too, by the way, coming out next week on the 18th, Star Trek. I know I'll be going to that. I have some tickets. I'm going to be going to that opening night with my best friend and a couple other buddies of mine. And we're really excited about going. J.J. Abrams obviously did a good job on the last one, so I want to see what he's doing on this one. But obviously he's also going to be doing Star Wars as well. And obviously a lot of people remember him from Lost. But we're going to be going to see that. I'm kind of excited to see where they're going to go with the new Star Trek and all that type of stuff. And I'm kind of curious to see what the new villain is going to be in the new Star Trek. So I'll be there next week, Friday night, going to view Star Trek. So it'll be really a wonderful experience, I'm sure. And we got our tickets off of Fandango. Wonderful service, by the way. They're not sponsored, but I'll give them a free plug. They wonderful. You can order your tickets. When you go there, they just scan the tickets and you walk right in. No need to wait online at the box office or anything like that. It's really just a wonderful service. You can get show times and all that right on there, and that's where we ordered our tickets. So we're going to go see it at the Cinemark. So it's a really, really wonderful site. And one of the other things, too, that you can do as well if you have an iPhone or an Android, you can sync the tickets right to your phone. They just scan your phone. So, that's something else you can do. But we're excited to go see it. Really, one of the big movies of the summer. So we're excited to go see it. And then obviously the next one for me is going to be World War Z. I actually just finished up the book, actually on Audible. And I'm looking forward to going to see that movie as well when it comes out. So a lot of things going on, by the way, in the world of security this week. But before we get into all that, I just wanted to talk about one of the things that I was reading about and messing around with this week was PGP, Pretty Good Privacy. It's the security protocol that keeps your emails and things encrypted and safe. It comes in many different types, 1024, 20, 48, all that stuff, and or 2024, excuse me, and it goes up to 4,048, I believe. So really deep encryption, and what you can do is you have a public and a private key, and then what you do is you publish the public key, and you keep the private key to yourself. And what happens if you send a friend your message, you can you just drop the you just encrypt it using the public key, and then your friend, he has a key, and when you send it to him, he can use his key to decrypt your email, and then he can send it back. And then as long as you have the private key and he has the other key, you can send emails securely back and forth. It's been going on for years. This is nothing new, but it's just a wonderful way to keep encrypting your email. There's actually two products out there that do it. One of them is Mailvelope, which works on all different ones: Outlook, Gmail. It integrates with the Chrome browser, so you can use that to encrypt and all that. So that's one you could use. I personally like Mailvelope a little bit better. But then you also have your other option, which is called Safegmail, which is a little more low tech in the sense that it makes it really, really easy for somebody to, as long as they have the plugin, they can, decrypt the emails, and then too, the emails don't get saved up in a server or anything like that too. And after so many days, they just delete themselves. So it's really Safegmail is a little bit more simplified. Mailvelope takes a little bit more work, but I like Mailvelope a little better because it gives me a little more flexibility. And two really great products for PGP. And any emails that any documents you're sending somebody that you maybe they should be secured when they're sent over the internet. You encrypt them with PGP, and really keeps your stuff and really, really safe. And I recommend it for anybody that's sending important information over the internet. I strongly recommend using PGP or one of those other encryption tools that keep your email safe, especially when you're sending it over, especially if it's important or anything to do with medical records or anything that has to do with HIPAA or anything for that matter that has to be safe. So I would strongly recommend that. But like I said, there's a wonderful, wonderful product out there. And what we'll do is there's actually a promo we have for Safegmail. We'll go ahead and play that so everybody can hear it, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, it's really just such a wonderful, wonderful service. But we'll play the promo for, Safegmail, and you guys can hear a little more what it's about. So hold on, here it is, and we'll go ahead and pull it out right now.
We all occasionally send sensitive information through email. Credit card info, your next business move, tax information, or health issues. There are some things that should be kept private. When you send an email, it gets scanned for information and can even be intercepted by anyone with the tools to do so. If your password gets leaked or stolen, intruders can read your archived messages. Even if your password doesn't get compromised, what if one of your contacts' passwords do? Your private information is in their inbox too. Safegmail is a free extension for your browser that allows you to quickly and easily protect your emails. Our encryption method approaches military-grade PGP encryption, all while remaining super easy to use. When you encrypt your message with Safegmail, it can't be read by anyone but your intended recipient. Your messages will remain encrypted in your inbox and in the recipient's inbox. After a time, messages encrypted with Safegmail will expire, ensuring that no one will ever have access to it again, including you and your recipient. While the encryption is very complex, the concept is simple. When you write an email, you choose a question and an answer that only your recipient will know, or you can simply agree on a password. When you click the Encrypt and Send button, your email is encrypted within the browser. Some of the encryption keys are sent to the Safegmail cloud, but the message itself is never, ever sent to us. Message decryption is just the opposite. Keys are brought from the cloud to the recipient's computer and decrypted inside their browser on the Safegmail website. You copy and paste your message and decrypt it yourself because we never, ever have access to your message. Skeptical? See for yourself. Safegmail is completely open source. The code behind our extension is in front of millions of developers worldwide, so we can't cheat. Email protection that never, ever quits. Safegmail, free at safegmail.com.
Like I said, that's Safegmail. That you can get that right off the Chrome web store. So they're really is quite an interesting product, and I definitely recommend it for anybody that's trying to keep their their email safe. I strongly recommend it. And just there's some other things too that went on this week as far as security goes. Downloadify obviously removed from the Chrome web store. Obviously, it was an extension for. And by the way, I posted this up on the website, technologygeek.org, but. Obviously, the safe Downloadify obviously was removed off the Chrome web store because it pretty much allowed you to go to the Spotify web browser and allow you to download their their music, which obviously, as you know, is DRM protected, so you're not allowed to do that. And a lot. And by the way, not just download it as in like offline, like literally download it as in you can save it into your MP3s. You don't need to have Spotify anymore. Obviously, not a great thing for Spotify. Obviously, the first time they had a real security breach, and obviously they're in talks with their to go ahead and do something with their. I believe that they're going to be doing something with. I think Warner Brothers, something like that, as far as getting their licensing agreement with them, so or renew it or whatever. So this is not exactly a great time for them to have a big security breach like this, but it did happen. Obviously, they removed it. Now the problem with with this is that the person that developed it dropped the software up or dropped the code up at GitHub. Now, for those of you that don't know, GitHub is a place where developers can share stuff. It's open source. Anybody can use it. But the problem with that is, it's a serious issue because now somebody can get that code and just recreate it all over again. So, Spotify needs to, just taking it down off the Chrome Web Store isn't enough. Spotify needs to find that hole and plug it because not obviously it'll come back again to haunt them. So, obviously, I'm sure they're working on that. They do release a statement talking about how they're working on it, but no information yet on it. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure they're watching it very closely, though. Another thing that came up talking about online stuff, obviously, Hemlock Grove, obviously a huge payoff for Netflix. Obviously Netflix coming out with another series. Obviously, Orange is the New Black coming out July 11th. There hasn't been any trailers for anything like that. I don't think there is. We're going to look right now for that, but. A lot of that is Orange is the New Black. We're looking right now to see if there's on Netflix to see if there's anything. I don't believe there was. I checked just the other day, but I don't believe there is. But we'll check anyway just to see if there is anything. There is a trailer. I'd be curious to see if there was one. Yeah, it doesn't seem that there's. Doesn't seem like there is a trailer just yet, but I'm sure there'll be shortly there will be a trailer released for that. But so I'm sure there'll be. I'm hoping that's going to be another hit series for Netflix. So far, the hit series have been pretty good. I particularly I like Hemlock Grove, but it's not a show I go really crazy for. By the way, it is a fabulous show, but it just doesn't have that. It's just not my brand. That's all. But it is a really great show. I'm sure I know for a fact that Netflix is very pleased with the performances they released in their quarterly statements. Netflix is very much in competition right now with HBO and HBO Go and all that type of stuff. And I'm not exactly sure. There's been talks, rumors, which we all know I don't like rumors. But there's a rumor going around that HBO Go is going to break off and you're going to just get HBO Go without the channel. I don't think HBO is going to do that because they're going to lose money on that. But we will see what happens with that. So we'll go from there. But obviously Hemlock Grove, a big hit for them, bigger than House of Cards, which House of Cards was big, but obviously this has been even bigger. Apparently they've had over 3 million new subscribers signing up. They believe it's because of the new series that they offered. So there's like 36 million members. That's a huge for them. And apparently, like I said, there's another TV show coming out called Arrested Development, 15 episodes being available on the 26th of May. And as well as they also have some other stuff coming up down the pipe as well with another new show. So we will, get in, we'll get into all that, I'm sure, as the show develops. But I don't want to talk about rumors because, there's enough rumor mills out there, and we'll see as it comes down the pipe. We'll talk about it. But a lot of some other stuff going on as well. Besides that, obviously you have the Washington court data breach. Exposed 160,000 Social Security numbers. Obviously, that was a big story this week in the news. Going on. That's a lot of Social Security numbers to be exposed. They used the vulnerability in Adobe's Cold Fusion app server, to compromise servers belonging to the Washington State court system. This was, obviously this wasn't recent. This was in the last few months, and they walked off with data belonging to as many, as 1 million residents of the state. The attacker apparently had access to 160,000 Social Security numbers and driver's license numbers, and the names of millions. So they haven't really, released too much about it. They said it happened. They're not exactly. And the scary thing is they're not exactly sure when the breach occurred. They know it's been in the last couple months. sometime between, they know it was after September, which that's like 6, 7, 8 months ago. So, but it's a lot transpiring with that. This isn't the first breach, by the way, the federal government's had. So we'll see what happens as as more information becomes readily available. We'll see what's going on. But like I said, it's definitely apparently let me read this. The court warned that anybody who has been booked into a city or county jail between September 2011 and September 2012 is at risk. So, like I said, a lot of stuff going on with that. But I think the bigger news out of this whole thing is Adobe is planning to patch a vulnerability on Cold Fusion next week. But it's not clear, whether that's the same flaw that the attackers used to exploit. So. We'll see what happens with that. Obviously, there was another big piece of news this week as well. Is the 8 that were indicted in that $45 million ATM heist? Obviously, there's still some information transpiring as far as that goes. But we'll get more into that. As more information comes available, but they released the names and all that type of stuff. More than 4,500 ATM transactions were conducted. Approximately 20 countries around the world using a compromised RAK bank account data, resulting in approximately $5 million in losses to credit card processors. New York City area alone, in just about 2 hours and 25 minutes, the defendants had managed to do like 750 fraudulent transactions totaling nearly $400,000 in 140 different ATM locations. So, really unbelievable. Obviously, so the second heist took place on February 19th and early morning February 20th. So they do have a lot of information on this. Approximately 36,000 transactions withdrew about 40 million from ATMs. So, obviously, global investigations are obviously involving other authorities. Japan, Canada, Germany, Romania, United Arab, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Italy, Spain, Belgium, France, UK, and a couple of others. So definitely a lot, going on with that right now. Google, talking about security, has aggressive plans for stronger authentication. This is actually something that I just kind of stumbled upon yesterday while doing some research for the show. Apparently, Gmail and Google Apps account hijacks have been, rising, number of highly profile targeted attacks, starting with, Aurora attacks of 2009 right up until, last week, attack against the Twitter account for The Onion. We're going to get into more of that, but that was just part of the story. There's two different levels of security between stealing data from, defense industrial bases, as well as stealing, a few political motivated hosts and some other things that really happen. So apparently Google is really getting upset with this. So they're pretty much looking for a way to aggressively pursue a new direction for authentication. The company announced that there's new long-term plans for a stronger authentication that builds off of similar initiative that they did in 2009. Obviously they have the two-factor authentication for Gmail. And, the risk-based login challenges and stuff like that they've always had. But going forward, Google's hoping to put stronger authentication in place, using, endpoints, such as laptops, tablets, and smartphones are the first configuration of device that they're going to work on. You could see a lot. I mean, it's, again, a lot of this is they don't really know a lot, but, pretty much Google knows that, smartphones have changed the dynamic of authentication. That's part of that whole two form factor authentication is you have the phone. The phone gives you permit, the password, and then you put the password in, just the authentication password. So it's pretty a neat thing. I like it. I use it. The usability definitely is there. But we'll see how all that. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's, Google's definitely been on the forefront with this two-factor authentication. Apple just jumped on the bandwagon just recently. So, but they're throwing around, there's a lot of stuff out there like LastPass and stuff like that. Well, we haven't gotten into that yet, but we might do a show on LastPass. There's a lot of stuff. They're looking at the behind Channel ID Open Standard, which aims to secure cookies on the device that certifies the user signed into a service. The concept pulls up, a barrier from man in the browser attacks and, the attempts of sniffing and stealing cookies. They're basically trying to protect from cookie attacks and all type of stuff, which, that's always been something, especially with, cross-site scripting and stuff like that. Obviously SSL, but, SSL obviously has, been the recipient of some attacks as of late. So right now, I know Google's looking at it. Obviously some rumor here, a little bit of the rumor mill as well as some other things, but, they're looking, they could, doing this could obviously require them to change a lot of APIs and how the OS and the browser communicate. There's a lot going on. So the Google knows that there's a way to. Google is kind of just pretty much says that, Google's looking around and kicking around some ideas, but obviously no matter what, security is security. It's only breaches unfortunately do happen, and we can do our best to protect against them, but they do happen. So. But they are kicking around an idea. Again, I don't like to talk a lot of rumor, and maybe I should just drop the subject. But I think it's neat that Google is looking at a different way of handling passwords, and I think it's definitely definitely a good idea. A lot of people say, LastPass, and I do like LastPass myself, but you're still if anybody compromises that one spot, they get all your passwords. And yes, is it safer? Probably, but I don't like that single point of failure. So there's a lot of things that still, as far as, a lot of companies kicking around the passwords and all password issues, but, nothing is ever going to be completely safe. And no matter what Google tries or what Google does, it's still, it's still a password. It's still security. It's still out there pointed to the web, and it's still vulnerable no matter what they do. So, and obviously, you still have, just because you change, the password and the password to handle, that still doesn't take you from social engineering or anything like that. So it's really a tough issue as far as Google's concerned. How do we make things more secure? And truth is, like I've always said in security, your weakest point is your user. So, obviously, we're talking about that, but. Just no matter how they really look at it, it's always going to be, it's always going to be, security is always going to be an issue. We can make things safer, but things will never be 100% safe. Talking about Google, the city of Boston, they employ about 20,000 people, I believe. They've been the latest organization to switch from Microsoft Exchange to Google Apps. The city estimates they're going to save about $280,000 a year. Microsoft's reaction, kind of the whole thing, their official statement was, we believe the city of Boston deserves cloud productivity tools that protect and secure their privacy. Google's investment in these areas are inadequate compared to the lack of organization and the lack of interface that is required. So, I think that's Google trying to strike back, I think Apple or Microsoft trying to strike back. They're a little upset they lost their customers, but again, Microsoft has been the victim of losing quite a few customers because they haven't. They have to be more innovative in their pricing structure and all that. Microsoft has seriously been living in the past, and they just haven't had good leadership ever since Gates left. But obviously, big news that's a big hit for Microsoft. I know a lot of people saying, Microsoft's got enough money, but you take a couple of hits like that, they're going to start to feel it. I know they just declared their first loss in the company's history a while ago, but, this is a big thing for them. So, World of Warcraft, obviously, lose 1.3 million players in the first quarter of 2013. It's one of the most popular franchises, one of Blizzard's major cash cows. It's bleeding subscribers right now, and Blizzard, revealed a subscription decline of over 14%. So, but again, the game is getting old, and it is huge. But again, the game is getting old. They're starting to lose people that are playing and stuff like that. And I'm sure they'll come out with a new version. It'll pick right back up. But just shows. Things. Sometimes things aren't hip and new. That people get tired of them. That's just the way the industry is. The industry moves very fast, faster than any other industry, and that's just the way it is. Once something gets hip and new, it's cool, then, it dies out. It's just like that. But, they had a great run with that And they still have people playing. I mean, they lost a lot, but I mean, they still tons of people play that. So, according, by the way, to an article I read on TechCrunch, Microsoft may acquire the Nook tablet business from Barnes & Nobles. I got to tell you, Barnes & Nobles will be stupid if they don't take this acquisition because they've been hurting tremendously over the years. Microsoft considering, buying, the remaining shares, in the Nook Media. Microsoft already owns 17% of it, but obviously, documents revealed that, Microsoft has some plans to pick them up. But again, Nook is also, they've also talked about, discontinue selling tablets and, traditions go back to the old way of just selling paper books and just distributing through partners and media partners. And I just think that there's seriously, again, another company with a lack of leadership. And I think, you look at Google and stuff like that, and, we look at Microsoft and, Barnes & Nobles, Google, one of the best ranked companies in the world, Microsoft and Barnes & Nobles, one of the two of the worst ranked companies in the industry right now. So, but definitely something that Microsoft's looking to acquire. And I think if Microsoft bought it, they might be able to, to possibly do something with it where Barnes & Noble doesn't have the capital or the knowledge to do what they need to do. So, by the way, we talked about this. The Onion obviously got hacked. There's been a lot of information released on that. Apparently one of the attackers had access to one of the Onion's employees' account. They used the account to send the same email to more Onion staff. Apparently by, May 6th was when it occurred. Coming from a trusted email, the members clicked the link and, and entered their login credentials. Obviously, this is just typical phishing scam. Nothing really, crazy here, but that's pretty much how they got in. It was just a simple phishing attack. Happens, social engineering, phishing scams, all that stuff. It happens, and unfortunately, not a lot of real zing behind as far not a lot of real techie stuff behind this. Just an old-fashioned phishing scam, old phishing social engineering got them in. So, kind of. Sometimes I like to look at attacks and see how hard they are, and this one obviously, simple. Good old-fashioned phishing and social engineering. So, one of the other things I'm going to talk to about Microsoft. Microsoft, obviously, believe it or not, their most profitable mobile operating system is the Android. And I was reading about this, and I thought a lot of people would find this. Obviously, Windows 8 in the marketplace is considered a failure. But it's been nothing. That's only the tip of the iceberg for Microsoft's problems. Obviously, Bing not doing as well as they should be. And I love the Bing advertisements, by the way. For those of you who haven't seen them, maybe we'll pull them up and play them. But thanks to Android's, patent agreement, Microsoft's, making about $8 per Android. So they're looking at Microsoft could have made probably about $3.4 billion just this year alone, just from Android sales. So sometimes patents make you more money than actually selling devices. So, it's unbelievable the way that, Microsoft's profiting from it. But, at times, all I can say is, good for them. They got it, they patented it. But see, Microsoft, a lot of people don't realize Microsoft spends a fortune every year on the on defending these patents, because as part of owning a patent, you also too have to spend the money to defend it. And they agreed to license it to them as part of their patent issue, and they're doing okay with it. That's quite a big chunk of change. So, but it's unbelievable. I think it's funny that Microsoft's still making money on their patents. I mean, I think they have one. I think them and Apple have the most patents in the world. I think, which is pretty good. As far as I mean, just the amount of patents they have and just the amount of money they spend to defend them. I mean, what other company can spend that kind of money? You know what I mean? So, and by the way, somebody just tweeted me the link for the Bing commercial, so we'll go ahead and play that real quick. It really is kind of a funny commercial, so we'll go ahead and we'll play it.
Hey, we're in San Francisco, Google's backyard for the Bing It On Challenge. Let's Bing it on. What's your preferred search engine?
Search engine? Probably Google.
Google. Okay, what if I were to tell you that I bet you an Xbox 360 that you would pick Bing over Google? If we do a side-by-side blind test comparison and you end up choosing Google, you get an Xbox. But if you choose Bing, that means I'm right, and I get to have your sweatshirt. Why don't you look at a place where you can get a new sweater, since I'm going to be taking yours? Yeah.
All right. Hot fashion sweaters.
All right.
All right, I'm digging the right.
Bing won. So strip it and dip it because that is now my sweater. Bing won.
Oh,
Bing. It looks like Bing won.
Bing did win.
Oh, it looks like you're going to have to embarrass yourself by running across the street in your underwear. You are a Bing man, man.
San Francisco! Bing is better than Google!
People chose Bing web search results nearly 2-1. Join the 5 million people who visited the challenge at Bing.com.
Bing.
So, there it is. People choosing Bing over Google. So, some of the advertisements have been just really, really, the Bing advertisements have been really funny. And I do like watching them. They are funny. And, they've been advertising during some mainstream stuff on, the CW, during Arrow and stuff like that. So, but it is kind of, I do like some of the advertisements. They're really funny. There was just another advertisement, maybe I can get somebody to pull it up for me. It was an advertisement for the apparently you have half a wedding. They have the bride side and the groom side, and one's using an Android, one's using the iPhone, and they get into a big fight over who's using what. And it's really, really funny. And the two Microsoft guys are like, "Why are they fighting? They're almost the same." So it is really really a funny commercial. It just was really, really funny, especially coming from me. But those of you that don't know, I'm getting married eventually, so I thought that was kind of funny. But let's see what other stuff we have going on here in the news. As far as the speaking of Apple, because we haven't really talked much about Apple recently. Apparently, there's a new tool that just got dropped, and again dropped on GitHub. We talked about that a little bit. Where people develop apps together. Researcher found that Apple, you can actually use this new tool called iSniff, which actually gives you GPS access. The Apple database actually searches the Apple database, and you actually get to see where the person actually was. It gives you their location, where they've been, their GPS information, directions, all that stuff. So. Another, security flaw found, and I'm sure Apple will, of course, take the initiative to patch that. I know they will, because that's a big issue for them. So, obviously, I was just we're doing an Apple. Somebody actually has the commercial. Hold on, we'll go ahead and we'll play it. It's actually a really funny commercial. We'll go ahead and play that.
I am delighted we could share in the serenity and joy of this beautiful day as we come together to celebrate the commitment of these.
Would you mind moving your enormous phone? You mean the enormously awesome Galaxy?
Search One Trick Pony.
Aren't you a little young to have an iPhone?
You want to go? I-sheet, copy bots.
Autocorrect this.
Is there an app for that?
Search karate. Karate!
You think if they knew about the Nokia Lumia, they'd stop fighting all the time?
I don't know. I think they kind of like fighting.
The Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 920. Engadget's Reader's Choice Smartphone of the Year.
Yeah, so that's the Windows commercial. That the new Windows commercial. That's a Nokia commercial, but it's still a Windows Phone at that. But yeah, that was another interesting commercial. A lot of good commercials and promotions and stuff like that now. So I just want to bring up something else too. Talking about we were talking about Windows phones and Nokia. Microsoft obviously. Microsoft looking to purchase Nokia for about $1 billion. That was in the news the other day. So I just wanted to bring that up. And some other stuff as far as security goes. Obviously, Name.com having a security breach and they had to reset all their users' passwords. So any of you that have Name.com, I'm sure right now you're changing your password or something like that. So. Obviously, very good security practices by the company, making sure they changed all the passwords and making sure that they did what they could to keep their users safe, knowing there was a breach, not knowing where going ahead and patching that definitely is something that a lot of companies don't do, but they went ahead and did it, being proactive. And Twitter did the same thing as well just recently. So obviously, Adobe's Creative Cloud, it shows how the cloud could actually cost you more. There was an article the other day talking about that, how they're looking at the Adobe's cloud products actually are costing people, more, because the Creative Cloud obviously is costing you $19.99 a month for a single app, which obviously the full version, you get everything for, I don't know. I mean, apparently, from what people have said, they worked the numbers. And by the way, I don't use the Creative Cloud, but from what people have said, if you get the full version of the Creative Cloud, it's $49.99 per month, which actually will exceed the full cost of the out-of-box Creative Suite 6, which, it retails for almost $1,300 at Staples. But the Creative Cloud for one app you're paying $19.99, where if you get the full version you spend almost $50, and if you use it for so long, you're actually going to spend more than that. And you only get 20 gigs of cloud storage, by the way. But the subscription base. So a lot of people saying it'll actually cost you more. I don't use the Creative Suite, but just doing the numbers right now on the calculator, I can definitely see how it could cost you more. So the other thing is talking about the cloud. Facebook in talks to buy Islware for about $1 billion. So I guess it's going to be the new. I keep joking. Everybody said this is going to be the new Instagram. Just some stuff. Facebook looking to pick up. And a lot of people say, why has Facebook just developed their own apps? Well, one, these apps have proven themselves in the marketplace, and two, there's a lot of cost that goes into something like that, development costs, and then you have to wait to get your user base and all that. So, doing this, it sounds like a lot of money, but to these companies, it's actually cheap compared to if they spend all the money to develop their own and customer acquisition and all that stuff. So that's when you look at sometimes these companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, they buy the companies just to get the user base. Obviously, Microsoft Messenger does not nearly have the fan base that Skype did. And that's why Microsoft bought them, because the customer acquisition and all that is a huge piece of this. The goodwill, as they call it, when you buy a business. Let's see what else we have going on here. Trying to see what else we have going on here. Obviously, AT&T this week launches the new prepaid service. That's up on that was news, believe it or not, them going to that. That was kind of neat. Some other stuff going on. I know some people probably here aren't wrestling fans, but I think it's kind of neat to be partnering with Yahoo to bring media content. There's going to be a half an hour pre-show before Raw. Probably going to be B and C level matches, but there's going to be a pre-show before Raw. It's going to air exclusively on Yahoo. There's also going to be some other things going on with WWE and Yahoo. I guess WWE wants to be this big media company, and they are. If you look at Monday nights, they're like the number one thing trending on the internet. It's pretty impressive, actually, their fan base. But as we talked about, WWE looking to possibly have a YouTube channel, paid YouTube channel, trying to get WWE has a channel right now, WWE 24/7, which is an on-demand service. But I guess Microsoft really looking to do a YouTube channel, and now. This new partnership with Yahoo, where they're going to put a lot of their content and a lot of their media, a lot of their old matches, all that stuff supposed to be up on Yahoo. So you have to wonder what's going to happen between them and YouTube. They could have both could coexist, but I'd be interested to see what's going to happen with that. I know they did enter into a contract with YouTube, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. WWE hasn't released much information on that, but. As far as Yahoo goes, though, they're becoming a media company more than a search engine, and I think this is going to be huge for Yahoo to get WWE. They do have quite a huge fan base, and I'm sure this will definitely help Yahoo as far as their customers and their fan base, and I'm sure to help them tremendously by doing a lot just cross promotional stuff with WWE. So good for them. I'm just curious what's going to happen with the whole YouTube deal, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But believe it or not, as far as Yahoo goes, I guess the CEO, Melissa Marriage, she's trying to get out of that 10-year partnership with Microsoft, the Search Pact, as they call it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if that's. I think that possibly could be holding Microsoft, or should be holding Yahoo back, being partnered with Microsoft. I don't know. I remember a bunch of years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, Microsoft was going to purchase Yahoo, and obviously they didn't. Obviously, Yahoo took a different turn and got a new CEO, got a couple different CEOs. Yahoo looking to get out of that partnership with Microsoft. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Bing is definitely bigger than Yahoo as far as the search engine market goes, I think. Yahoo definitely is more of a media company than Microsoft is. So, but we will see what happens. I think the two of them complement each other nicely. But apparently, the CEO of Yahoo looking to get out of that partnership. So we will see what happens with that. Obviously, Amazon's Cloud app hits the iOS market, syncs with the camera rollout. Obviously, that's something new coming. It's out now, so that's kind of neat. Powered by the Amazon Cloud. By the way, too, talking about Yahoo, there was Yahoo YouTube. Obviously, them rolling out their paid subscription pilot. That's coming out this week. That they're already trying it in a kind of a small test environment, so we'll see how that goes as that rolls out. But again, more of that stuff on the Amazon Cloud. It's neat to see them finally have an iOS app, and Amazon, has their niche in the market, and they will. I believe they're going to be around. They're not going anywhere. And then obviously, too, new news coming up. The FCC, they're posing to free up more of the spectrum for in-flight Wi-Fi, so that's something else that's happening, too. So a lot of stuff going on, as far as, news going on right now, and a lot of going on right now in the business news of tech right now. And I'm sure as the September rolls on, we'll get the, Apple's, as the summer rolls on, we'll start getting the conference. It'll be conference season. We'll start getting the Worldwide Developer Conference and all that. And I'm sure there'll be more and more news released as we go on. Let's see. Obviously, we get our questions for the week. Obviously, we got quite a few questions this week, and I answer everybody's questions back, but answering the good ones here on the podcast. But obviously, we got quite a few. And again, you can submit all your questions to me at LaPandyTech on Twitter, or you can email it to me off the website. By the way, first question we had is, I have a recording business, or I'm trying to start recording, trying to make a business out of my music. And what is the best recording tool for iPod Touch? And what is the best microphone choice? I personally... I like GarageBand. I use GarageBand for the podcast. I use it for my recording of my music and all that type of stuff. I like GarageBand. Always have. You can use Final Cut. They have tools. But I think if you have an iPod, your best bet is to just use the GarageBand tools, and you can get yourself a tuner app and tune your guitar and all that right through there. So it's really great. As far as recording go, Samsung Meteor mic, I like them. They're really good. They're cheap. Again, like $65. They're on Amazon, and they don't take up much space. And I recommend that's what I would use. Maybe I think too, you can also plug if you want to record vocals, if you want to just record guitar, you can get an adapter and just plug the guitar right into the headphone jack and record right to the iPod. So it's a really great really great thing, and you can definitely do a lot with that. And that's what I would do. There are apps, like I said, that you record through the headphone jack, stuff like that. So, what is the best Bluetooth headphone set that you would recommend? I like Kinvo. They're great. I know they have Boss and they have a lot of other ones, but I like the Kinvo. They wrap right around your head and hook onto your ears. Really comfortable to wear, so I like those guys. What is the best OS to run on Boot Camp? I'm curious as to why you're using Boot Camp. If it was me, I would just run Windows virtually on a VM. I think it'd be easier. But if you have to use Boot Camp, I would use 7 because obviously there's no touchscreen on the Mac yet. But obviously touchscreen on the Mac, but there's not on the iMac yet. But like I said, I would run Windows virtually. I wouldn't really use Boot Camp. I'm not sure why you want to use Boot Camp. I would just do a virtual machine. That's just me. But it's up to you. But Windows 7 should be okay. Any of the OSs will really run, but Windows 7 is a little more mature, so it should be easier to get the drivers. And that's the one thing, too. If you do it virtually, you won't have to worry about loading drivers. You won't have to worry about loading drivers. You can just run it in bridge mode. Some other questions we have. Can I migrate my contacts an email from Outlook 2007 to Windows Live? You can actually export the contacts out of Outlook 2007. You can export them and import them into Windows Live. However, there is no migration tool for the mail. And I just ran into this just recently within the last month or two. So make sure. I had a customer call in and they were having some problems. So we did a remote session. Like I said, we do offer support, remote support as part of the website. It's how we make money to fund the site. But what you can do is if you want, like I said, you can migrate the contents if you export it to a CSV and then import it into Windows Live, but you can't move the mail. I don't know why. But, unfortunately, there's not going to be much you can do to that. And then we had another question, too. How do I import BlackBerry contacts? There's a BlackBerry app. You load it, and then you can make a backup of it, and you can export the contacts and all that type of stuff right out of your BlackBerry. That's what I would do. The BlackBerry app is really a powerful app. I have to give it that. I would like to start. Next question we had is I would like to start my own internet radio show. What is the two best things to use without having to have a website? Well, there's a couple of them you can use. I like Blog Talk Radio. They have a paid program, but you can get the half-hour free show, once a week. They're pretty good. If you want to do something else, you have Live 365. And one thing nice about Live 365 is if you want to play music, they have a music radio station. You can go ahead. I mean, there's a little bit of licensing involved with that, but Live 360 you don't have to pay the licensing. So I like Live 365. They're really good. Especially if you want to play music. If you just want to do talk radio, Live 65 is okay, but I would prefer the Blog Talk Radio because they have the where you can actually call into the they actually give you a phone number and you call into the cloud-based phone system and people can call you right on the air and you can take calls on the air and it records it and all that. So if you're going to do talk radio, I would use Blog Talk. If you're going to just do just music, I would do Live 365. They're a little bit better at the music end of things. Another question we had with football, so I'm not a football fan, but I know there are a lot of listeners out there that are, and we got a question, is there any way to watch the NFL on the Roku? And the answer to that is there are channels out there to listen to the NFL. There's a couple. Roku actually has channels for the sports teams. You have to go on their website, and they do have channels, sports channels, and you can add them. I think it's a great feature. You can add. There's even baseball channels. There's all these types of channels up there that you can add to the Roku. And if you have any questions how to do that, I can definitely help you out with that. But there's almost all the sports teams have channels for the Roku, so that's one of the things I really, really like about it. So. And obviously last year and this year, or this past year and the year before that, were the first 2 years for the Super Bowl being televised, obviously, on the Internet. So, and that's all the questions we have for this week. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for listening, and we will hopefully be seeing you shortly with another wonderful podcast. And again, you can find all of our articles, thetechnologygeek.org, and obviously at my Twitter, you can follow me at LaPannyTech. And obviously we have a YouTube channel, Facebook, Google+, all that stuff. So feel free to follow us, and we do appreciate you listening, and we hope to be speaking to you soon and with another wonderful podcast. Thank you very much, and enjoy your week.